Hello, Themeathon. We are back with Derrick, who is going to run Chrono Trigger. Introduce yourself, and then we can start.
Hello, my name is Derrick, and I am doing Chrono Trigger, and I certainly hope you're not tired of hearing from me. But there's one person you shouldn't be tired of hearing, because we haven't heard from him yet. It's my co-commentator, Matako. How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing great. I've had a nice long day at work, and we're getting right into this, so this should be a thrill ride.
There you go. We will start here in just a second, right after we name our two characters. But I want to go over our flag set while we're doing that. So, getting ready to start in 3, 2, 1. Good luck, have fun. So we're doing what's called 9-9 fast tabs, boss randomization, and the bucket list. So, speaking of the bucket list, we'll go over everything else, but let's do the bucket list. So, we have to recruit 4 characters for a total of 6. Defeat Yakra, charge the Moonstone, defeat the Aerostone boss, Mud Imp, Masa Mune, recruit Isla, and clear the Sunken Desert. So, we're doing 4 out of 8 of those. So we can do those in any sort of order, and we'll be good to go. Okay, there we go. Close the message. We try that this time. The other ones is the 9-9 fast tabs. So normally, in Chrono Trigger, tabs only do 1 point. With 9-9 fast tabs, they give 9 points. Prevents a little bit of extra grinding that we might or might not have to do. A little bit of mitigation there helps, and boss randomization is about as vanilla as it sounds. Randomized bosses. So, what is your kind of experience with Chrono Trigger there, Matako?
So, I don't know how many years ago it was, but I was put on couch for Firepaw's 100%, run at ESA, I don't know, 2019 or something about then. I've played the game myself. I've done like a casual 100% playthrough, but I've never done any randomizer stuff, so it's, you know, if everything goes in order, I'm peachy. I was watching some of your recent streams on this, trying to get like a feel for things. Mm-hmm. So am I right in assuming like your starting party is always that's a random start?
Correct. This is actually a really good starting party as well.
So I have here's an interesting question. So based on, isn't it Robo's health, like the final digit of his health or the single digit of his health will decide how much damage his rocket punch does, right?
No, that's only with, I believe it's the crisis arm, the one particular weapon. Yeah.
Right. So I was wondering if like some of the exploitable things from the base game like are usable in like the randomizer, particularly for this as well.
Yes.
Because obviously your party's not going to be defined. Like who you get is who you get. Mm-hmm. So like for your techs and things like that, you just roll with what you've got, I assume. Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't have text randomized. That is an option. I'm not playing with that particular one because that is a whole different bag of cats that I'm not into. It's not exactly marathon safe, as it were. As odd as a sentence that is. It's a little bit too random to comfortably put in and be able to say, hey, I'm gonna have this time. Just because you could start off really good, or you could start off awful. I'm not quite here for that one. So
that's fair. I get that.
But we do still have some of the tech, like Dino Tail for Isla does damage based on how low her health is, things like that. So the early game mostly consists of me walking around and getting free checks, tabs. So Gate Key is actually really good. We're going to go ahead and buy the Gate Key. That's going to give us access to the prehistory. With prehistory, we immediately have access to a 3rd character. So we can go in and go check out and see, maybe we get somebody really good up at the Dactyl Nest. The one thing that I do, because you can have your bucket list. You can choose your bucket list if you really want it. The only one that I choose is recruit 4 characters for a max of 6. That one, I like that one just because it kind of encourages going out and taking a look at all the different character spots, and it adds party complexity to it. I will go do that one. Everything else, completely random. There we go. Put down the Tomos Pop while we're here. It's a good idea just to go ahead and do that. That's going to open up the Beast Claw. So, normally without the pop, we wouldn't be able to do Beast Claw. Without the gate key, we wouldn't be able to open up the closet in Medina Village to go to the prehistory. So, there are some gating checks, basically, that basically prevent us from going places. Pick up the last few of these tabs. We're not assigning the tabs out yet. I generally like to wait till I have at least 2-3 characters more than what we started with. Just in case I end up getting Isla really early, I don't want to have assigned out all of my power tabs. Because if you've ever played base Chrono, you know Isla is a physical beast. And you give her power tabs, you don't want anyone else in your party for physical damage. So all we did is step in, jump right back in. We'll immediately go to the end of time. Then we can get we can go ahead and go right back to Medina Village. Because right now, going and getting magic isn't exactly the best idea. Because we could go down and go talk to Specchio, get some magic, and that's really good. But the characters we have don't learn magic, so they don't learn magic in that same way. So it's not really that good of an idea. So Taco, do you have a favorite character in your playthroughs? Do you have a favorite character?
Well, I mean, I don't want to say like the obvious answer is Magus, only because he's like the edgy, vampiric looking kind of
He's
edgy
the Piccolo
guy.
of the gang.
He's very easy to like, but yeah, I think that's when I first played the game, like that was kind of my go-to. And also it's like when you fight someone and they become a good guy, there's something about that. I think the other easy one to like is Frog, because he's got a banger theme, and he's just an honorable knight, and he has his little like doubtful story in that. Yeah, I think nowadays, like I am a big fan of Ava. I don't want to be like the early characters are really boring. Like Chrono, Marlon, and Luca are just like whatevers. But
no, I can completely understand that one.
I think one of the things for me as well is like because you get to see your character animations like the entire time on the screen. Like Ayla's got a pretty banging animation, like run animation. Yeah,
I'll agree with that. Isla particularly my favorite. Just generally, just because of the characterization of the character, which is a weird sentence to say, a characterization of the character, but just the way in which she's introduced, the way she behaves with the player characters, it feels really good. I'm probably gonna die. Yep, alright, cool, that's fine. We flew too high to the sun in the early game right here. That's fine. We'll come back here. They do some pretty heavy damage, and sometimes you can skirt through, sometimes you just can't. So we're going to go back to the present, we're going to go ahead and snag one last tab, and then we're going to go do the Cathedral. The Cathedral's a really good early spot. Basically, it gets you one character immediately and one character down the road. So we already have potential 5 out of 6 characters. And one of our objectives is recruit Isla. So we have a really good chance of that. So we can go ahead and we'll park down here. And I'm going to go ahead and take a look at our tabs. I'm gonna save the power tabs. Magic tabs, I mean, you can't go wrong giving it all to Max. And I like how you can start some of the story cutscenes before anything else. In my opinion, the randomizer is really, this is a really good mode to get into if you're wanting to really kind of get into the randomizer, okay? The flag sets are pretty good. Boss randomization means you're gonna have some tough fights on occasion, but it's nothing that is impossible. You're not gonna be asked to try and beat up really heavy magic bosses immediately, unless you have someone that can use magic. Or they expect you to have the ability to have magic. I'm personally hoping for Isla or Luca here. Now, Isla, I mean, that's just Isla. Physical powerhouse right there. But why I choose Luca? Luca is one of the few characters that has access to magic even before magic. Alright, Frog. Hey! Frog's okay. Not my favorite tech-wise. I'll agree with you there, Mataka. But it's a best complete story arc. And banger of a theme.
So while you're in the cathedral, I think I did see some of this in the run I'd seen you do. Are you going to be making use of fade out glitch and save anywhere glitch?
No, I don't do a ton of the glitches. I'd love to say I have a moral high ground, but it's the fact that I don't know those glitches. I'm not going to do any of those extra fade out glitches or save anywhere glitch. As weird as it sounds, I try to play as glitchless as possible.
Well, I know certainly for a lot of the randomizer communities that I'm aware of and have been involved in, glitchless is actually typically the preferred way. For whatever reason, I find that most people, most communities default to, we're randomizing the game, we should, let's also play it authentically. And I think it's a really cool way of going about it, because especially if you've got a lot of out-of-bounds exploits and things, it can detract somewhat from that element of checks and exploring and finding the pieces that you need to get through to the end. So that's cool. I like that.
The only one that I will actively do minor glitching is when I do Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening, where I'll do like feather glitching stuff. But that's neither here nor there. It's just kind of like, well, I need a little bit of extra movement options because that game locks a little earlier than I'd like. But yeah, I can agree. A lot of the randomizer community is pretty much like, hey, let's not do glitches. Let's focus mostly on just the randomizer portion, and I think that makes it a little bit more accessible to early entrants. I think that having a randomizer that's accessible to people who maybe just know the vanilla game, that's a really good pickup. I can access my menu. Worst part about playing too many games is your controller layout's never quite the same.
Yeah, I get. There's a great one I get, and there's a game where if you walk, you advance your steps further, and in the game before it, the menu button is triangle, and in that game, the menu button's circle, and walking is triangle. So I go into the first dungeon and immediately lose steps, and it's like, great.
It's weird. I was playing. I recently played through this vanilla on Steam. So I was playing it on my Steam Deck. A and B are swapped. There's nothing weirder than playing the same game, just with a different button layout. It feels weirder than playing completely different games with button layouts. Because you're like, no, this is the same game. I've been playing this game on and off. What is going on here? It's that weird brain effect. Retrocon is decent if we had Chrono. So you see, early game I do a lot more of the standard checks. The chests. The chests, it's not like the Archipelago, where they have, because there is an AP at this, where they have all the different items. It is just items from this game. Sometimes they're really good. Yeah, I agree with the PlayStation controller and Xbox symbols. Like, alright, pick one, let's stick with it. But no, I highly recommend, give the randomizer a try. This flag set, like I said, is particularly, it allows you to get the taste of the randomizer, but I think the bucket list gives you some targeted, like, I'm going here, and helps you end the game, maybe a little bit earlier. I mean, we have an hour and a half, estimate time, and the fast tabs enable you just to not have to do a ton of grinding. Kind of helps you in that early game where you're not having to take all the fights all the time. Because there's nothing worse than ending up grinding in a randomizer where you're like, alright, this is cool, but I'm ready to move on.
Yeah, I think pacing's a really important thing when it comes to the random stuff. It's, you know, can I go from A to B to C?
Yeah,
like, swish around nice and pacey. And I think like Chrono Trigger is a game that's quite dynamic anyway, so you don't typically hang around one area for too long. So I think like even the pacing of the base game is pretty manageable, and it's varied enough where there's like it's a fun game to play.
Agreed.
And to go through, and it's pretty manageable. I think like there are some randomizers in some games where to get to the point where you're beating certain fights or certain bosses, you either need to use exploits or glitches or grinds or things like that. And Chrono Trigger is a game that you play through. The game actually balances itself very well to get through without having to do a whole bunch of extra stuff.
Yeah. Alright, so boss randomization. Okay, is this even randomized? I'm legally required to say, is this even randomized? And the answer is yes. Yes, it is. But I love the statistical odds on this one of just randomizing it right into Yakra. Now, when boss randomization happens, it'll basically take the HP of that area and apply it to the new boss. So this one will be like 200-300 HP. There have been fights I've done that have Flea will be here, or Slash Plus will be here. And it seems like it's going to be more dangerous than it actually is. And I think I corrected, it's 900 HP here. I also
this is actually great to see.
I actually have one of the quality of lives in here that don't really affect the game, just kind of help you kind of make a difference. You'll see that I actually have sight scope on, so I'll know, hey, there's 920. You know, I'm doing, if you end up doing, like, I'm doing 20 damage to this boss that has 3,000 HP, it's like, maybe I go find something else to do.
Yeah, maybe now's not the time.
Okay, so you've seen as it flashed across there, to beat Yakra. That's actually one of my goals. I only have 3 more goals to go. Which is good to see. There have been times where I've had the mutant fights here, and I'm relying upon Chrono's Slash, which is technically light elemental. And the fact that I have to say it's technically light elemental should be some troubling news. Because that fight is only weak to magic. And it goes, well, you have access to Slash, don't you? Good, get to work.
Yeah. Buckle up, here we go.
Exactly. Oh, hit the trigger plate. Okay, Luca.
Alright.
We'll probably replace Frog. Just because Frog is a great healer, but I already have Robo with Cure Beam. Now, Luca does not offer any extra checks. Characters like, actually Marl enables you to do King's Trial if you have the Prison Shard. I think Marl is the only character that I can think of off the top of my head that has a "this is the check" sort of mentality. We're gonna go ahead and go to the prehistory. We're a little bit stronger now, a little bit faster. We're gonna take the full heal here, and we're gonna try to get that extra character. This is the trick I did. Yes, it is. There we go. There we go. Love the free full heals. And rest assured, we will go check. It is a non-check that... you know how, if you've ever watched Link to the Past, where if you get the single arrow, it's the validation arrow. If you do certain things, it's like it validates the run. We have Validation Cat, which is the cat in Chrono's house. You have to go check the cat. So we're ready to go do some more of our checks in the present. We will go talk to Validation Cat. I would be remiss if I did not validate a marathon run by talking to the cat.
Oh no, it's needs must. It's very important.
Agreed. It's the next best thing to pet the dog. There's not a dog in this game, which is weird. I feel like a lot of RPGs have a dog, but I cannot think of a single dog in this game.
I think they went very cat centric with the cat people.
You know, it's not wrong.
No, I don't know if you can allow for both.
I'm trying to think. The only ones that I can think of, and they're just kind of gimmies, is probably either Harvest Moon or Stardew Valley, but that feels like cheating, if I'm honest.
Right.
Yeah, let's see the cat emotes. We need to pick the best cat emotes to spam when we pet the cat. Alright. We should be good to just run to the end here, then. We should only run into Avian, Rex, and that's it. These guys are barely an inconvenience. Okay, there we go. You see, taking the early fights and getting some of those levels kind of enables me to feel a little bit safer, just going, you know what, I'm gonna run from this fight. Because otherwise, we'd probably have some EXP concerns. Alright. It's Isla.
Okay.
Hey, you remember how we randomized characters? Okay, that's 2 objectives out of 4. Say, hey, how's that next run look? I don't know. That's a semi-serious, semi-joke question. That's a semi-serious, semi-joke question.
Yeah, do we have 30 minutes of filler, Jugachi?
Do we just pet the validation cat for 30 minutes?
I'm gonna buy that, yeah.
Go ahead.
I have a couple of questions with the. There's so in the speed run, like you'll do a menu trick for escaping in fights. Is that a thing? Is that a thing you know about, or is that something that can be done in the randomizer?
It's not really something I do in the randomizer. You definitely can.
I wonder if that was like a kind of like a cheesy type thing, similar to some of the other glitches.
I'm sure there are people who do. Okay, we talk to the cat. We talk to the cat a lot. I'm sure that there are folks who do. I just don't personally.
Cool. And then are weapons and items randomized in the chests?
Yes. Yes. So we have found the hurricane inside of the cathedral, which is the late game Megan's weapon. So that is randomized there. I do not believe stats are randomized for weapons. That's another flag set I believe you can turn on. I forgot we have Isla, so we can definitely start pumping up the tabs.
The strength for power.
All right, so we're going from 69 damage, and we're going to basically be pumping that all the way up and going as fast as we can. So now we went from a huge number to just absolutely crushing everybody. I can go down this ladder, though. Wait a second. Yeah, there is, item randomization sort of things, like item stat randomizations, which again, I've played on occasion. I just like the consistency of just having the static item going, okay, well, I know that this weapon does extra damage to robots in the case of the Pico Magnum. So the final boss is the ladder, and I'm just gonna say it's a thrill. So just ask, what a thrill. No, unironically, I'd say that. Unironically, there is a staircase in this game that is a boss fight. Or is a fight. And in my opinion, it's a boss fight. There, plasma gun stops machines. That's vanilla. So it makes you have that idea of, alright, cool. I have this weapon, I know what it's going to do, I know the damage, I know how much tonics you're going to heal for, mid-tonics you're going to heal for, that sort of thing. But there's a lot of different flag sets you can choose. There's Standard, there's Ice Age, where I think you have to go down to Antiquity. There's Legacy of Cyrus is one of the newer ones, where you actually have to go do the Northern Ruins and complete Frog's story. Which is really cool. Now, with the way that I have the flag set right now, Go mode, and basically when I beat the game, other Go modes are disabled. So if I wanted to, I could go battle Lavos, and it means nothing. Speaking of Lavos, disapproving, we have indeed randomized the sea.
Hello, friend. Yeah.
But
the thing is, I had like a totally forget moment when I was watching one of your runs, and for whatever reason, my mind was like, oh, obviously the final boss will still be the final boss. It was like the credits don't roll until Lava's core is down, and I was like, okay, there's going to be some sort of exploit, or there's going to be some way to get Green Dream and do the magic pot stuff against. And then I think it was like you were like the Dino area or something like that, and then the credits started to roll, and I was like, wait a minute, you didn't even fight anything to beat the seed.
No, I love that. That's actually one of my favorite things, is if you aren't really paying attention to how you're playing, which definitely has happened to me on occasion, you'll be like, just bopping along, you're like, alright, cool, and then it'll go, you win! You're like, oh, I wasn't planning on ending stream this early, but I don't have time to do another one, but sure, whatever. Just spits out, you win. Oh, I wasn't. Because there's a really good combos where it's like, recruit Isla, and then you'll get that one. And then that'll also pop you recruited 4 characters. So you get 2 checks in one. Alright. So Tabin gives you something right after you beat Hecarim's Kit. So that is perfectly okay with me. Hero's Medal gets us a chest, and we can find out who's in the Cursed Woods. So, we have several checks we can go do. And I'll go do the Cursed Woods, and then we'll go look at our objective list. And kind of, I think we have a little bit of time to talk about what we're gonna do. We're gonna actually go to the right time zone. That might be a really good start.
Controversial.
It is! It's a little controversial. Being in the right era, not being off by about 400 years, kind of helps in playing the game. There we go. And it's tomorrow at the play at the Frog Lair. But we have something here. It's not necessarily the bent hilt, but it's definitely the bent sword. It's different, but the same. It's half of the Masamune. If you play the original, you have to have the bent hilt and the sword to actually beat the game. To finish that check. But we have half of it. There we go. So, let's talk about the Sunken Desert. Sunken Desert is possible. Technically, since we do boss randomization, we don't have to worry about having water magic for this place, because, as you'll see, yeah, we're not fighting these guys. We're just immediately going to run away. If an enemy tries to fight you while you're in Sunken Desert, you're legally allowed to say, no thank you, and then they can't attack you. Because they would require having water magic. With Magus, we have a higher chance of having water magic. And actually, statistically speaking, we could probably go get water magic with Frog if we need it. So we still have access to the end of time. It's just most of our characters right now have no need to go talk to Specchio. So there's an amulet, the load helmet, blackmail, full tonic, the white vest, okay, and lapis. Let's do some equipping. We've done 0 of that. Do we want the amulet? Sure. I'll keep the amulet there. Why don't we put the power ring on? Make Isla even beefier.
Yeah,
right.
It's really interesting to see you focusing on armor and like weapon pieces and the speedrun. You'll unequip the armor intentionally to get resistances.
Yeah. Okay, Golem's not terrible. Golem is, if anything, kind of a closer to a simple boss. I should probably target the enemy. That might be really good idea. Honestly, with Isla doing 700 damage, it's not really that, not going to be really that strenuous. Okay, 400 damage to Robo. Good night, Robo. We'll revive you just so that we have an extra body up in case we need to use a Lapis, but... And we probably will, just to have that in there. Oh, and never mind, it's done. Sunken Desert is done. Hey, remember, so I talked about, is the next runner ready? What is our time looking at? Do we have that up? I have that up.
You're like 33 minutes in.
No. Anybody have a fun fact? No. We'll just go talk to the cat for an hour. How about that? No, I can go find stuff to do. Here's the boss fight staircase.
Just do a blackout bingo. Just change the whole thing. Forget it. Just get everything.
That's always the worry with randomizers. It's either gonna be overestimate by a lot. Or it's not. But no, look, our next checks, relatively speaking, we'll take a look at them real fast. I think we have a little bit of time. So Recruit 4, we can kind of actively avoid that one if we really choose. Charge the Moonstone requires the Moonstone, clearly. Eris Dome Boss, we don't have access to the future, so that one's kind of a moot point at this moment. Mud Imp, that is a random chance boss fight. Moss Immune, same thing. So really, if we wanted to, we could probably rush to find something in the future, or find the Bent Hilt to recruit tomorrow. So that one, possible. Charging the Moonstone is a little bit more targeted. I don't have the Moonstone, though. So really, this one is... we have a little bit able to forecast and say, hey, we're going to Cursed Woods with the sword, we can recruit. We're going into Protodome, we can recruit. So if we want, we can say, hey, I don't want to do that. Moonstone also is kind of one of those, hey, by the way, you actively have to go and do it. Let's go to the present. Let's go look at the forest. I could think that I was worried about being overtime. It's like, oh man, I really can't do that.
I mean, so like the reality is like if you got a really tricky or developed seed, this could take into like 2 hours or so, couldn't it?
I think the most I've ever had is like an hour and 45, and that's just really kind of. I think at one point I had Hecarim, but I had no magic. I had Retinite, which is Sunken Desert boss, which I had no magic. And then I think I had Mutant, and I had no magic. So magic kind of was my wall.
Yeah.
So you can absolutely get walled by some really ludicrous stuff on occasion. So it's not terrible. All things considered, hour and a half is pretty healthy estimate still. I think that's a really good estimate. It's like, especially if you've played this game a couple times, you get a little bit of practice underneath your belt. Let's go get magic. We have Frog and Luca who can do magic. And it's also fun participation chat. If you have awesome magic-themed emotes, do spam them, please. Because we still have to do the walk around where we think to ourselves magic. So we talk to Specchio and he's gonna say, hey, magic, you're the master of war. We tell him he looks strong because, hey, I mean, if he looks strong, then that means we're strong, so we're really just complimenting ourselves. Alright, so now we have to think magic and start walking around clockwise 3 times. So, let's make it 1 magic, 2 magic from X-Men, 3 magic, and we'll do the 4th just for good security measures, and 4 magic. And now we have magic. Everybody has magic, and we are not gonna fight Specchio. Specchio will destroy us. Poor Robo can't use magic. I do not want to try it out. Alright, let's swap our characters out. Big yawn here. Vibe to the music. You're not vibing to Isla's theme, I have concerns. It's a pure jam. Can we agree on that idea? Let's go Middle Ages. Did I lose y'all? No. Alright, so we got a couple checks here we can do. We can do Beast Claw, we can do Denadera Mountains, and we can do the bridge. I think just for the sake of time, why don't we do Denadera Mountains? I like those fiery nuts.
I was going through, like, what do I have access to? And it was like, there's not a lot of magic, but there's quite a lot of fire.
Is that a bomb from Final Fantasy, the third one over?
Yeah.
Okay. I love me some Final Fantasy. Okay, so here's a question. If they could remake this game, would you want them to remake it?
Oh, okay, I don't know if I would go so far as to say what I would want them to remake it. The thing with, I think Chrono Trigger stands really well as it is, and I think there's so much in terms of like different worlds and different like environments and societies and stuff like that, and communities within the game. I think you could build on individual parts of it, but I think it stands alone really, really well. And I think I'd rather have another story in the world rather than them developing the game and adding new things to what was originally there.
Okay, I can agree with that one. I'm in the zone of I would love a remake. I don't want them to make a remake because I don't want them to get it wrong, and I feel like there is a huge risk of getting the charm wrong, and just making it just be a completely different entity. Like, I think a good example is the Final Fantasy VII remake. They are great remakes. They are almost not the same game.
Oh yeah, like it
feels so different.
I don't think there's much of an argument to say that it's not a different game. It's almost like Final Fantasy VII B, and it was like while the main story was happening, this is what else was happening alongside it. But yeah, I think the thing with the like Super Nintendo Square RPGs is like they've got so much character to them, and they're very lighthearted and funny and silly and campy, and so much of the remakes are just so serious and gritty and modern. I just don't know if someone would like have the confidence to commit to, okay, let's make a silly RPG remake in 2024.
Yeah, I kind of agree, because like that's kind of like my biggest complaint of a lot of media that gets transferred from the 90s to current is it is really difficult to catch that charm, and a lot of them do want to make it dark and gritty. And I'm thinking of like things like comic book adaptations on occasion, where it's just like, hey, this isn't fun to watch anymore. It feels depressing to watch, and I don't know that I'm here for it.
Yeah.
And I feel like, how do you add to this game without padding for length? Because again, like Final Fantasy VII, already a long game. The remake adds so much extra stuff that is good, but it is on top of what it already was. And so my worry is that it would detract from the charm. That's not even to mention possibility of mini games.
Yeah, I feel like if they were gonna remake it, they would have to add something that's brand new into the world, and then are they gonna hit the right tone on that? Is it going to actually fit with everything else, or is it going to overtake or overshadow? It's a big risk to put something new in, and yeah, I mean, goodness knows there would have to be some sort of shooting range for Luca, maybe some sort of sparring pit. It would just. Yeah,
much
mini
fluffing
games
of
on mini
material.
games.
The other portion is the art style. You have to do it in. Honestly, you need to keep it in the art style it is. Akira Toriyama, rest in power. This art makes the game. Like, you look at the game and go, this is Akira Toriyama's work. And Akira Toriyama's work is this. If you change the art style, fundamentally, the game is no longer Chrono Trigger. So, you have to keep the Akira Toriyama style, but that necessitates having the same style as Blue Dragon or Sandland, or the two video games outside of this era that were Akira Toriyama properties. Or you go the route of, like, the Dragon Ball route. You have the Dragon Ball Super, what is it, Kakarot, Fighter Z, that sort of thing. Like,
yeah,
you have to go, there's no artist interpretation of how things look. You have to ask yourself, is this what Akira Toriyama would have put? If no, don't put it.
Yeah, I think there's so much to say for, like, if you've got a series like Dragon Quest, and it's like, without looking at the title, you can get a still of anywhere in that game, or a series rather, and you know that's what you're watching.
Yeah.
Like, that's the kind of thing, and like, it is a fundamental part of it. This is very funny.
Yeah, so on occasion,
yeah.
because Giga Gaia is actually, a bulk of him is actually the background. It only loads the sprite layer. So it really is kind of one of those, alright, this looks silly and I love it. It's just a floating head.
It's pretty fantastic.
But yeah, it's one of those things like, and I would hate to tell an artist, recreate this work and you cannot do it anything in your own style. That to me feels unfair to the artists themselves.
Yeah, I think it's the kind of thing where, like, that would be someone's passion project, would be to bring this game to life in full HD.
Yeah.
And that's what it, like, that's who you need for that. Like, you need a team, like a development team, or like whoever's working on it, for it to be like, this is something I care really deeply about from my childhood or whatever, and I want to do a faithful reimagining of it, and that's the team that you want.
Yeah. And you know, it's interesting. It would be hard to fit that in, especially in big development companies. You know. There we go. Beat Giga Guy. Like I said, I recently played this vanilla. I always forget just how good this game is, and how much the game is burned into my brain of, like, alright, I finished this part, now I go do this, alright, now I'll go take care of this. It's just so much. I've played this game so much on original SNES as a kid. I am very much, if you watched any of the previous two runs where I've done some commentary and running, I'm very much a 90s kid. It's like, this game was practically glued in my Super Nintendo. That Secret of Mana and Lufia 2.
Yeah, that's the one. It's like, there's definitely that age of people, that group of people, I I love Secret of Mana. I think it's absolutely phenomenal.
Mm-hmm. I've been recently playing through that on Steam as well. I'm at the stage in my life where I'm like, I can, why are you not giving us the bromide? Okay, there we go. Why are you not doing it? We're just giving him the Naga bromide to get more power tabs and things. But yeah, there are so many games that like I remember, like Secret of Mana, Breath of Fire, Lufia, Chrono Trigger, Final Fantasy III, that they didn't leave my SNES at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, I was actually like super late to Breath of Fire and even Chrono Cross. First time I played Chrono Cross was like 5 years ago or something.
Chrono Cross fell victim to fandom, and I hate to say it, the Chrono fandom did Chrono Cross dirty. It's a great game, but even to this day, I look at it and go, that's not Chrono though. Like, it's supposed to be like a sequel story, kind of like what happens in the future. It ties back at the end of the game or midpoint. It's like, I don't know, like it's really hard to get into the game without thinking about Chrono Trigger.
Yeah, I think it's like if you had no understanding that Chrono Trigger existed and you hadn't experienced that world and story and that there, Chrono Cross I think does stand up on its own. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's as soon as you have a bit of understanding of the other side, it can spin it. I mean, I enjoyed it. I thought it was very good, but it's definitely like, as far as the core premise of Chrono Trigger, there's not really a parallel.
Yeah.
I think if they had have just stuck to their own thing of like, yo, we can change worlds and we can have this thing, but like it doesn't need to be a comparison of they didn't have to have time in it, I don't think.
Yeah. And I think a weird, daunting thing is just how many characters there were to recruit. Because there were something like 15, 20 characters, if not more. And somebody can fact check me on that. And that is so many characters and branching storylines. And I look at it and I'm like, alright, I am getting slightly anxious about missing characters and items.
Oh yeah. There's some of the games where it's wild. Like I was going back over like FF4. I think it's got 9 playable characters. It might be more, but it's like some of the games, and it's like, okay, how what do I do with all these people?
Right. Well, I mean, Final Fantasy VI had that. It has that problem, but also doesn't. It has a lot of the characters, but the way they do it is like you recruit them, and then you go to the World of Ruin, and you have to re-recruit them, and you technically can't miss them. And
yeah, they did.
So you get to truly decide, hey, I can recruit them all, but I got to play with them a little bit. Each of the characters in the first half, you have to use.
Exactly. Like
so
they kind of saved it that way, or not saved it, but like the fact that each kind of team has their own story at the beginning, where you have to go over and play as different characters and get a bit of their world and their story, was like there was a reason to know who everyone was. Yeah.
And I think that's a really good mechanic. Hey, here's the Mud Beast. Hey, is the next runner good to go? Can we get a confirmation in chat? Is the next runner good to go? If I beat this boss, the game is over. It's done. Okay, no. Okay. We'll walk away then. Okay, are we good? Are we good to go? Finished then? Call it, Juga. What are we doing? We're at a crossover. We can walk away, or we can go do. We can beat it and be done. And okay, we'll finish it. We're here.
I'll wait to find out that I'm the person filling the time.
Hey, you got any good jokes? No.
But like you've got some 5-minute runs, 10-minute runs. Like sure.
You got any good stories? Yeah, there we go. No, but honestly, okay, real fast, while we're doing this, it might be a good time. Do you have any shoutouts that you'd like to do as commentary? I am amenable. I think we got time.
Me for Chrono Trigger. That's this. So here's the tough one. So when I was big into Chrono Trigger, that's when people like Obda Jr. and Chrono Kirby were running it. I am not up to date with like any of the current runners or community stuff or like rando people. Like I don't even, so like I guess the best thing probably for this is like to signpost people to like where can you find the randomizer? Is there a website?
Yeah,
or
there sure is. They load this in between rounds so I don't die. Still possible, no. But yeah, it's just the it's ctjot.com, CT Jets of Time, basically. And I'll put it in chat here in a second, if possible.
I would get timed out in chat for linking the link.
Yeah. I don't know. Okay, I'll drop it in here. There you go. I put it in Discord. But, yeah, that's, you can go find the randomizer. Super worth playing. There we go. We have officially beat it. Yeah. I just want to give a shout out to all the members of my lovely community who have really encouraged me to, submit runs to, this marathon. I appreciate them for encouraging me in that one. And, again, as always, I am appreciative of my lovely wife who got our kiddos out of the area so that I could go ahead and do this today. I've had all day to get stuff done and do some lovely commentary and do some lovely runs of games that I truly do enjoy. So yeah, just want to appreciate that. And also appreciate you there, Mitaka, for coming to hang out and play some Chrono Trigger. Hopefully this has encouraged some folks to give it a go. Hit me up if you want to learn this flag set, or you just want to have somebody to run up against, or any questions like that. Yeah, that's all of my shoutouts. You got anything?
No, I think that's super good as it is. I mean, I assume that Jugachi's going to do that was an amazing run, Derek, thanks, which I need to like not jump in and do because that's not my place. But yeah, for
still do it.
Like, it's like no, this is no. I want to hear you do it. But yeah, but seriously, I was like randomizer community stuff and different games are awesome. And generally, like the more you can do that, and like having weekly races and stuff is awesome. And it's like randomizer races are some of the most fun things that I've experienced in speedrunning. And it's a nice way to get you outside of the game, and outside of that, I have to be better. I'm grinding PBs and records and leaderboards, and it becomes it just becomes a wider experience. And this is a stellar one to be able to do. So yeah, I mean, Chrono Trigger is a great game anyway. You should play it, but also like get involved with that and get more people in, and the randomizer would be awesome.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for running, and Mitako, we will see you tomorrow with Raid Shadow Legends. So that's gonna be an interesting one. He's gonna end the marathon. Oh, that's funny.
No joke.
But since you're so fast. We have to set up the next guy. It's gonna take a couple of minutes. So stay put to listen to some music. We have always bangers. We'll see you in a bit.
See you in a bit.